The David story just got really dark.
Now, if you've been on social media the last week, you probably heard about the viral story surrounding popular singer David, spelled D4VD. It started when the body of a Jane Doe was found inside a Tesla registered to him. At first, there was no confirmation that David had any connection to her until now. The David story just got really dark, and in this video, I'm going to break it down all together with you. So drop a like on this video because
I'm ready, bro. I don't know much about this guy.
Now, before we get into the latest developments, let's rewind for a second because just a few days ago, this is what we knew. Popular singer David, spelled D4VD, a 20-year-old Houston-raised artist who blew up on TikTok with his song Romantic Homicide, a sleeper hit with over 1.6 billion streams on Spotify that opened the door.
Isn't that convenient? Isn't that convenient that he had songs about homicides and like death and stuff like that, that he's murdering people?
For him to a major record deal, global recognition, tours, and major brand collabs. On the surface, he was just a young star living the dream life. But about a week ago, Los Angeles police made a discovery, one that would soon be connected to David himself. On September 8th, 2025, police in Los Angeles found a decomposed body inside a Tesla, and that Tesla was registered to a David Burke, which turned out to be popular singer David himself. According to reports, workers at an impound lot noticed a foul odor coming from the car. When they opened up the Tesla's trunk, they discovered human remains stuffed inside a bag. The Los Angeles County Medical Examiner described her as a female, about 5'2", weighing just 71 pounds, which equals to 32 kilograms for my international viewers. She had wavy black hair, metal stud earrings, a yellow bracelet, and a tattoo on her right index finger that literally read,
smells ass.
Like, shh, quiet. At the time, her name wasn't released, but those details alone were shocking as they were considering who this car was connected to. The LAPD confirmed the vehicle had been sitting in the yard for days, and they even had to call David himself, who was on tour at the time, to inform him that his car had a body inside of it. And David was cooperating with the police and claimed he had no knowledge of what they found. But while that was happening, the fallout started hitting him hard. Clothing brand Hollister, who had just launched a campaign with David, pulled his images from their website and seemingly ended their relationship with the singer quietly. And at the same time, the internet was asking a lot of questions, right? How did this young popular artist with no history of violence suddenly get tied to something this disturbing?
That's crazy too. And so people are so quick to sign you off, like even if you're innocent, like you're guilty until they prove that you're innocent. Like it's just weird that, but I guess you have the freedom to kind of just be like, all right, get out of here. We don't want to sign you anymore. Like, peace. It's kind of sad. It's kind of sad that you know, any allegation can kind of just ruin somebody's entire career, bro. Like we've seen this numerous times with so many people. Tates, we've seen it with Tates, we've seen it with some movie artist. Oh man, I forget, it was a British guy it happened to. But yeah, if they just can't find anything and you're truthing too much, they try to censor you by coming up with some allegations. And I'm not saying that they didn't find the body, because they found the body. But what I'm saying is he didn't even get it proved that he was innocent yet. You know what I'm saying? Is it just because it's too much heat? I mean, like, bro, I don't know.
For the past week, things have been up in the air with no real answers, but what's come out since then changes everything. A week after the news broke, we finally got confirmation of who that person was. According to NBC News, the victim was identified through forensics as 15-year-old Celeste Rivas. Celeste had been reported missing out of Lake Elsinore back in April of 2024. According to authorities, she left her home around 9 p.m. one evening and never came back. Her family put out flyers, posted her photos, and pleaded for anyone with information to come forward so their baby girl could be brought home. At the time of her disappearance, she had last been seen wearing gray pants, a black sweater, and Hello Kitty sandals. So when police connected the remains inside David's Tesla to Celeste through forensic testing, it wasn't just a tragic discovery. It was the end of a year-long search her family had been desperately holding on to hope for. Authorities also said that she had likely been dead inside that Tesla for an extended period of time before the body was discovered. Right now, the exact cause of death has not yet been determined. The LAPD says the coroner has not classified the case as a homicide or released a manner of death, and there are no suspects at this time. As for David himself, real name David Burke, A spokesperson said he was informed of the situation and that he is fully cooperating with authorities. At the time, like we stated, he was of course on tour, but his scheduled show in Seattle was canceled immediately after the news broke. So with Celeste now identified, the tragedy hit even harder. A 15-year-old little girl who had been missing since 2024 was found in the trunk of a car registered to a popular singer in the music industry. Just as the internet was trying to process what happened, police have officially made their next move, and it shows just how serious they're taking this case right here. Within 48 hours of Celeste being officially identified, investigators made their next move. Police executed a search warrant at a Hollywood Hills home where David had been staying. He doesn't own the property, but sources confirmed it was a place he had been living recently.
Ooh.
And here's where things get more.
And I think the FBI is going to be all over this because this is like a sexy case. You know, like the FBI only goes after sexy cases, chat. Like, trust me when I say this, like when there's like a popular name and they almost know that this is the person that did it, they're going after it because they want to be like, oh, get the FBI.
Serious. TMZ reports that the home was actually rented by David's manager, and detectives did not leave empty-handed. LAPD's Robbery Homicide Division walked out with several evidence bags and a computer. Photos and videos posted earlier this year even showed David inside the house, singing with producer Benny Blanco in the kitchen and dancing in the living room. TMZ compared the interiors of that footage to real estate listings, and they matched the property that police searched. Neighbors also recall seeing that same Tesla parked outside the house for days before it was eventually towed, a car with Texas plates and a big dent that stood out on the street. At the time, no one thought much of it, but looking back now, perhaps it was no coincidence.
I've never listened to this guy's music.
So for now, police haven't classified this as a homicide because the medical...
Wait. Is he really drinking a Monster with a straw? What does this world come to?
Examiner still hasn't determined exactly how Celeste died. The Tesla was abandoned and towed on September 6th, and just 2 days later, workers at the impound lot made the grim discovery. Investigators say the case now depends on the coroner's findings. And so far, the process has apparently been very difficult. I'm assuming it's probably because, her body was decomposed, so that would make a lot of sense, right? No arrests have been made so far, but the fact that LAPD homicide detectives are searching homes connected to David shows just how closely they're closing in on his world. And if that wasn't enough, okay, the plot has thickened even more, and we got some new details that make the story darker than anyone expected. Here's where things get even darker. According to TMZ, investigators may be looking at a direct connection between David and Celeste herself, and after TMZ got a tip that the victim might be Celeste, they reached out to her mother, and her mother confirmed two things. Number one, first, that Celeste apparently had a boyfriend named David. And number two, that she had a tattoo on her right index finger that said, shh. Now that right there is not new information, right? It lined up exactly with what the initial reports from the coroner were saying. But here's where things get crazy, because David himself has the exact same tattoo inked on his right index finger, and on the screen right now you'll see a picture of that. So let's just keep this on the screen for a second if you want to check it out, because I don't want you rewinding this and going out of your way to rewind it. So as you guys can see, here's the picture. Looking, you see it? Great. Let's keep it moving. All right, so this is already
cooked, bro. You're cooked. I don't know, bro. It's hard to defend this. It's hard to defend this. Like, woo.
A lot. I ain't even gonna lie, this is a lot. Okay, so let's just sit with this for a second. They found a body in a Tesla registered to David. It ends up being 15-year-old Celeste Rivas, who's been missing since April 2024. Ma Dukes, Celeste's mother, said her daughter had a boyfriend named David, and on top of all that, they both got the same tattoo on their finger. And it doesn't stop there, because the plot just keeps on getting thicker.
Why you just
because TMZ didn't just talk to Celeste's mom. They actually published photos and even a video that appear to show David and Celeste together. On the screen right now, you can see exactly what I'm talking about, and I'll just keep it on the screen for a second or two just so you can watch it, so you don't have to rewind. You see it right there? All right. And out of respect for her family, I've blurred her face in any of the visuals in this video, okay? According to TMZ, one of the photos shows them sitting together at a booth at a venue, both of them wearing black. Now, TMZ also pointed out something very interesting, which was David is wearing the same exact shirt in that booth photo as he wore in a picture with singer Billie Eilish back in October 2023, and that photo is right here, okay? Now, this is what TMZ stated, and in no way, shape, or form is this particular connection a sign of anything beyond what they reported. It's just an observation they made to support the photo being authentic, okay? And it wasn't just photos, however, okay? TMZ also posted a live stream from January 2024 showing the two of them on...
What did he say? Have you posted it in the KickFam Discord server yet? No, I haven't.
Camera together answering questions from
Discord
fans.
Servers,
in the clip, you can hear what appears to be Celeste telling David to respond to a comment. That's a direct interaction on video, and it's left a lot of people asking questions. And remember, this is a 15-year-old girl we're talking about. Now, TMZ, who obviously they've been putting in some work on this story, right? They did even more digging. And what they claim is this. They found another photo of David in Lake Elsinore, the same city where Celeste went missing back in April 2024 after leaving her home around 9 p.m. and never coming back. For context, Lake Elsinore is about 70 miles outside of Los Angeles, and it's where Celeste lived with her family. And here's the part that made people react, okay? The photo that TMZ stated that they have was taken just a 6-minute walk from Celeste's family home. Once again, I want to make it clear, this is what TMZ reported. I'm not saying that this, says anything. I'm just reporting what they said, okay? And also, just so we're on the same page here, police have not named a suspect in Celeste's death. But according to TMZ, for detective...
Okay, bro, even if that, to think he's with a 15-year-old, too. Bro, what are you doing?
To even get that search warrant on the Hollywood Hills home that David lived in but doesn't own, that's what led investigators to seize a computer and multiple evidence bags from the property. Now, since I want to be very mindful of how I cover this particular story, considering how sensitive it is, let me just say it like this, right? There are other photos and videos of Celeste and David floating around social media, but I won't be showing those here. Her family just got the worst possible news of their life, and I want to keep that in mind as I break the story down. So we're sticking strictly to what's been reported publicly by verified outlets. That way we keep it respectful, accurate, and, above all else, responsible, right? Now, this next part is wild as well, because there's this video that surfaced online that TMZ published, which is a video of one of Celeste's alleged former teachers talking about her in class. He pulled out his phone, showed students a photo of himself with Celeste, and said he had taught her years ago. And according to this teacher, Celeste first disappeared after meeting David on social media. He claims this, right? And he even claims that she ran away to Hollywood with him before police eventually tracked her down and returned her to her mother.
That's her in my classroom in front of this poster right here. Okay, hold up. I got another one because I got a picture on TMZ of this other kid exchanging stuff with the rapper who we alleged did this stuff. Hold on a second, because he's also in my classroom.
Wait, how long ago was this?
We all just found out yesterday who it was, but she's been missing since I taught her. So when I taught her, she met this dude on social media. He was a rapper in LA. He came and got her. She ran away from home. She was gone for like a month. The cops found her in Hollywood, brought her back to our school. She came back to our school, kind of told people this story. She disappeared again in May of that year.
Damn.
2024. That's when her friends told me what happened.
I don't know. It's kind of rough to kind of, is this something to speak about at school, chat? Let me know in the comments down below. But I mean, it kind of and kind of not, because honestly, it makes the students worried, but then at the same time, it brings awareness to not talk to some of these rappers, because these rappers could be after some of these young people.
It was this rapper, and then I found out yesterday that she's now dead in that rapper's car, cut into pieces. You want to know how they met? I feel like I just said it. Social media.
The teacher says that she went missing again in May 2024, 1 month after she was reported missing in April of 2024. And that was the last he heard of her until now. He told his class he was sharing this as a cautionary tale about the dangers of social media. Again, this is what the teacher is claiming, but as you guys can see, I just played the video, right? The plot definitely keeps getting thicker and thicker and thicker and thicker. And on that note, there's also a bunch of Discord messages floating around the internet right now that people are connecting to this story. Since I personally can't verify if they're accurate or not, I won't be showing them in this video. But what I will say is this: they're out there and they're adding a whole other layer of speculation.
I mean, bro, if you're trying to sneak stuff around nowadays, you just really can't. Online, your phone, this conversation, my Discord DMs, all of that stuff's being tracked. You gotta make sure you're on every platform. You gotta make, like, I don't think you can nowadays get away with too much. You really can't, unless you're like off all grids somehow, some way, which you're probably, it's like nearly impossible.
Here's another layer people online have been talking about. A leaked song that's been floating around where David allegedly mentions Celeste by name. Supposedly, the track is titled Celeste. Now, let's be very clear. I have no clue where this comes from. Is it legit? Is it AI? I can't verify that. And that's exactly why I'm not going to play it here. But it's been circulating, and the fact that people even believe this record exists has added another wild twist to the narrative. And by the way, just to be clear, it's an actual song. Like, it's an existing song, but I just can't verify if it's a real song, if you get what I'm saying. Because sometimes people might make certain things with AI because a story is big. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Now, with everything we just laid out, let's talk about the fallout, because things are starting to spiral. Right after Celeste was officially identified, David hit a pause on his world tour. He was actually going to perform in Europe, like places like Copenhagen, Stockholm, I believe London as well, and Poland if I'm not mistaken, but it looks like the tour has been put on hold as of today. On top of the tour getting shut down, a few popular artists in the industry have already started distancing themselves from David. One of those artists is Kali Uchis, a very talented...
You know, it is crazy that they found this on September 9th, and then you know what happened on September 10th, and you know what happened on September 11th? It's like crazy the amount of like pickup and drama and death and just politics this past month.
Singer who, the last time I checked, she was in a relationship with Don Toliver, and I believe they actually had a baby. She actually teamed up with David earlier this year on a song called Crashin' from his debut album Withered. But after the news broke about Celeste, Kali Uchis publicly responded on Instagram saying that the collab is in the process of being taken down from streaming services. And when people in her comments try to blame her for working with him, she fired back saying that's just internalized misogyny. In other words, women always getting blamed for what men do, which happens.
Stupid.
Aside from that, Canadian pop star Tate McRae, one of the biggest names in the mainstream right now, has also decided to unfollow David on social media. And like we already know, Hollister pulled him from their campaign as well. So as you guys could see, the industry is, the industry is reacting to this, okay? So right now, things are very much up in the air. Authorities haven't named a suspect, and they haven't even determined the exact cause of death. But the fact that they searched his home, seized evidence, they left with a computer, all these ties are being cut, it shows just how seriously they're treating this. For David, this isn't just a hit to his career, his entire world is hanging by a thread. You know, it's strange how this thing started with Celeste being found in that Tesla, and now it's turned into one of the most shocking stories the music industry has seen in a long time. This story is going to keep on developing, and eventually we'll get the truth of what happened to 15-year-old Celeste. And I trust that law enforcement will do their due diligence, because at the end of the day, this isn't just a headline right here. It's about a young girl and her family who deserve answers more than anybody. And as for David himself, his connection to Celeste is weird, it's strange, and honestly, it's pretty creepy in my opinion, right? I'm not saying that he's guilty. I'm just saying, like, just the fact that he's even connected to this, especially considering her age, I think it's weird, right? There are too many coincidences here for it not to raise eyebrows. But since we don't know what we don't know, it's hard to take a firm stance on what the truth actually is, right? What I do know is that public opinion is forming fast, and that's why people are looking at this situation and saying something doesn't feel right. My number one concern here is that Celeste's family gets justice, and that they find out what really happened to her, why it happened, and who was responsible. Because
exactly, and that's what matters. At the end of the day, who was responsible, and did he actually do it? Maybe somebody connected to David did it. Maybe somebody was getting fed up. Oh, David's not playing video games with me. I mean, it seems stupid, but some people are like that, like where they're like, oh, he's not doing this anymore. He's moving different because now he's got a girl. And like, you know, maybe he framed him. Maybe this was all a setup. Some which way. But at the end of the day, somebody's dead. Somebody didn't deserve to be killed. As 15 years old, you have so much life to live at that young age. You haven't even finished school. You didn't get to experience like going to homecoming. You didn't get to experience you know, graduating, going up on that stand. And it's so unfortunate that that had to happen.